Hello lovely people and welcome back to my digital painting tutorial series. It is summer, it is hot, and you had the idea maybe the next video could be about how to paint water in a stylized way. So, let's get started. Alright, first things first, as always, we start with our basic ground sketch, just to define our proportions and get an idea what we are going to paint. In this tutorial I want to show you how to paint water in motion. Something like a wave or a splash. If you drop something in the water, how the water moves away, how this effect looks like. So, I want that the force comes from the left and the water is splashing to the right. So we start a little bit more even on the left side. And then, almost like a fire I feel, we have some lines, some waves, some splash to the right, always into the right direction. At first, to make it a little bit more easy for you, you can work with simple lines. That means one line, not too straight, a little bit moving, goes from the left to the right and defines one splash. Start with another one, also from left to the right, another splash. So that you have kind of different lines, different direction lines that shows you where the water is moving. And in the end what we need to do is just connecting those lines with each other and give it a body, a kind of liquid body, right? As always, nothing too detailed here, just some basic lines. In this phase, keep already in mind that our element, in this case our splash of water, should look more or less three-dimensional in the end. So it doesn't help if we create a very nice line work and then fill in the color and in the end it looks flat. So the wave itself needs somehow to show that it's a three-dimensional object. And how? You see that the lines I'm drawing here, they're overlapping each other. So we have different splashes in front of each other. I think that's fine for now. Let's fill in the color. I grab the Lasso tool, create a new layer below our basic sketch and then just create a selection in the shape of our wave. We have all the options to change things later on, so don't be too detailed here. Very rough, create the shape. And don't worry about the down for now. Cool. Cool, let's drop in the color. I'm not going for a basic blue here. Everybody is imagining water in a blue color. Maybe something more dramatic, a little bit more like greenish, grayish. Not too dark, not too bright. We still need to see our basic sketch under it, right? So I create a new clipping mask on our color layer, and now with a soft round brush go in and just fill in some basic shade and light. Let's start with a shade, a little bit more in the dark green direction, and of course the lower part here needs to be darker and the right part, because as I said, light coming from the upper left direction. So, what we also can do is already painting in some darker lines to show where our splashes, our waves are overlapping. That is already the first step of showing that our object is three-dimensional. Cool. Could be mistaken as something liquid already. So I think we're on a good way here. Let's go in with some lighter color in direction of blue. And especially the ants, these little stringy splashes, they will be the brightest areas of our splash, because they are most of the time foamy or something like that. So keep in mind to keep them always the lightest part of the wave. And now we're going to paint some tiny waves, some, let's say, water texture. We go up, something like a little hill, and down on the other side, overlapping with another one. There's another wave in front of it. Yeah, like that. Okay, here and there, some waves. You know what? Let's paint in the direction of the light source here, that we won't forget it. And then see all individual wave as a single object. Like little hills, they get hit by light from the left side and are in shade on the right side. If you keep that in mind, then you can't do that much wrong anymore, because waves are very easily, or water in general is very, very forgivable. No, it forgives you tiny mistakes. So it doesn't matter if it's a perfect hill like this. It doesn't worry about it that much, right? It's important that you create the illusion of having the left part more lit by light and the right part more in shade, and that's all. In the end we will use the smush finger a lot, so we will get over it and over it again. That looks already quite cool. Maybe with a little bit brighter color, define the lines a little bit more. Okay, what I'm also doing is not only having a bright line going up from left to right and then down from left to right again, like the hill I showed you. Also have those hills, those little waves, be connected with each other. Because in the end it's not like that it's just a hilly area. It's a plain that has some higher surfaces and some lower ones. So hills and valleys. And because of the plane, they are all connected with each other, more or less. Also, what is important, our splashes need to be connected to the water. I mean, to the basic waves in the down, because they're coming from there, right? It's water coming from the waves in the down, splashing up in, yeah, who knows where, to the right side. So these bright lines I painted here show the direction where it's coming from and where it's going. So let's go for our first round of smush. It's actually called smudge, right? Smudge finger, not smush. What is a smush finger? Alright, but you see, everything is getting a little bit more soft. Hard lines, hard edges can be softened out here very easily. And if we want to have some more sharp later, which won't be the case too many times, I think, then we can easily do it with a lasso tool again. Alright. Let's go a little bit more dark here. What also helps is if you create a new layer and choose the layer style multiply for darkening some areas. So what we do is going to the right sides of the little waves, the little hills, and in between them, and darkening the parts. That will create more depth. So as I told you before, those little stringy things in the up, they should be the brightest. So let's choose a very bright green or blue, I'm not sure. Let's try it with green for now and lighten those strings up in the upper part. The whole shape of the wave looks a little bit weird. I mean, there is not a clear direction, you know what I mean? Yeah, let's keep it like that for now. Maybe we can do something about it later. Okay, regarding this bright, thin lines, they don't need to be so straight. It's also fine to have a little zigzag lines in it to show that the water is really moving quick from one side to another. It's hard to explain, but play around with that. I figured out during my studies that it adds way more dynamic to it when you have them a little bit more in action, let's say like this. Also keep in mind that these lines are bright, yes, but more on the left side. If you paint them on the right side, then they should be a little bit more darker because the whole side is more in shade than the left one, right? Okay, so the lines should not stand out that much. So let's grab the soft round brush and add lighter parts, lighter areas here and there, just to fuse the bright lines with the water a little bit more, to soften it up and show that the left side of the wave can act like a surface. So it's lit by light and creating a shade on the right. Just cleaning up some parts of the basic sketch here and there. I mean, all the merging I do with the different layers. For me, I kind of created this flow for me. It works best if I merge down the layers one by one. So I paint most of the time just on 1 to 3 layers. But it also makes perfectly sense to delete, or to keep the basic sketch on a separate layer and delete it in the end if you don't need it anymore. So I created a new layer and made it a clipping mask, put it on layer mode overlay, and now creating some more intense, more vibration to it by just simply choosing a more intense green or bluish color and then go on over some parts here and there to make it pop out a little bit more. Again, strengthening up the bright lines a little bit more. Let's go for almost white here. Be careful though, because too many of those too bright lines, they also add a little bit more confusion to the whole painting. It's not too relaxing to look at the piece anymore. So choose a few areas where you really want to add those bright lines, and in the rest, yeah, relax. Again, keep in mind to connect the little waves with each other. Here and there, sometimes just a little zigzag from one part to another, where one wave ends and where the other one begins. Yeah, looking cool. Still not that happy with the all over shape though. Let's get the Lasso tool and try to create some more depth to it. We want to have this selected area here a little bit more darker, so that it seems like we have the surface of the wave on the left side and the shade on the right. Let's check if that might be too hard. I think that works well, but the whole stringy things on the left still don't really give something here. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, but that works. That works way better already. Cool. The problem we got now is that we have this hard edge of the selected area, and we have our bright lines we added before. So these kind of need to work together well. So I create one bright line here where the edge of the selection was, and then adjust the strings we had before, the brighter lines to it. Better. Way better already. Cool. Okay guys, we need to do something about the weird strings on the left. It doesn't match up really well. So lasso tool, and let's see if we can find a better shape that's working more well. Something like that. Just grabbing the soft round brush now, picking the color I need for filling the shape. Looks weird for now, I know, but just follow along. Should work out way better. Okay. Now something on the right is missing. It's still not a perfect clear wave. It looks like water somehow, but it doesn't really look like how I want to have it. So the whole left side is way too smooth. I mean, way too even. There need to be little splashes here and there, some water, some motion, right? Yeah, that's better. That is better. I got the feeling we need to smudge a lot. Yeah. Soften up all these edges here. Okay, let's brighten up the left side a little bit more. New clipping mask. Nice bright color, and go in here and add some more brightness to it. Water is a very reflective element, after all. So creating another selection here, we can also brighten up a little bit to show that there's another splash that has also two sides again, a brighter one and a darker one, which is working quite nice. So that is a liquifying tool. Go under filter and liquifying, and then you can move around the different parts of the painting very easily. That is an amazing tool, fits to the topic as well, right? And now let's just, yeah, cool. That is what I wanted to have, you know? Now it looks like the water is in motion, the water is really going from the left side to the right side. That is cool. Nice. Let's work on some further detail. I think that whole piece can need a little bit more contrast, so maybe let's add some more darkness to some parts here and there. Yeah. Okay, I want to try now to get a little bit more texture in the waves by picking a dark blue color, very low opacity, and having some wavy elements in the water. Because I don't like the color being too flat without anything happening. Not flat actually, it's called plain, I guess. Okay, with a smudge finger, put it on very high strength, and then you can add some little splashes from the water even with the finger. Also what we can do is with a lasso tool create some selections, some very little dots here and there in the end of the foamy string things, and then fill them up with a bright color to show that it's not too words again, vocabulary, too thick. I mean, water is a very liquid element, right? So it can be separated easily, and some little parts go here and there, they splash here and there, and that is what we want to show here. It's not something like a glue or yeah, this kind of thing, honey. Especially those tiny dots, they're in motion very much. So make sure that with a smudge finger you smudge them on the left side, because on the left side smudged and on the right side a little bit more sharp means that it's moving from left to right. Okay, just softening the edges a little bit more on the left side with a smudge finger, just a tiny bit, because actually the whole thing is in motion, so nothing should be really hard. There shouldn't be any very... Alright, so let's add even more detail, some texture. What I like to do is adding some bubbles into the water. So what I do is grabbing my sand brush again. This brush helped me so much already. I used it for snow, I used it for texture in rocks and grass. Now it's going to create some bubbles. So we create a new layer, put bubbles, sand, whatever, everywhere we would like to have it. Do it as much as you want, doesn't matter, we can remove it later. And then I show you a little trick I'm using quite often. Way too many bubbles. Okay, now we create a layer mask, fill it black so that it's totally hidden. Now grab our soft round brush again, low opacity, change color to white, and painting on the clipping mask now means that everywhere we are painting, the bubbles will appear again. So we have perfect control over where we want to have the texture be shown and where not. Just play around with it a little bit, but I think that's quite helpful. Same thing we can do with the splashes on the top. Just put bubbles, splashes, little water drops everywhere we want. Something like that. Then again, clipping mask, fill it black, soft round brush, white color, and adding the texture. Okay, I merge all this stuff down here. You don't need to do that, it's just I feel more comfortable doing it. Create a new clipping mask and yeah, brighten all this stuff a little up. With a bluish color, so adding a little bit more of the blue we might want to have in water. Might have a cool effect. Let's see. Not too much though, because it's fighting a little bit with the green. But I think it's nice having the water be more greenish, more dark in the shade places, and a little bit more blue, more friendly where the light hits the most. That is cool, I think. Okay, what I did now is I created a new layer mask, and with a soft round brush and a black color on the mask, I can easily erase or remove some parts here and there in a very smooth way. So imagine that would be a full ocean, but we only want to focus on this one splash. That might be the way. Would look too weird if the edge would be too hard, right? But yeah guys, I think that's more or less it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm playing around here a little bit more with the contrast and the brightness and stuff. Consider subscribing if you didn't do yet, because that is just the first part of my water tutorial series. There will be another part soon. I hope you enjoyed. If you like the music, check out my second channel as well down in the description, and hope to see you later. All the best.